Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to the second race of the Clash of the Warriors, season 2 now of Clash of the Warriors, and it's January 2022. We've got a new year. We've got some new races at RWB International. If you're interested in RWB International's races, please feel free to go to the website, search on Google RWB International, and see what we have for you. Join us in Discord, say hello. We're very welcoming. But tonight is a big one because last week, if you were live with us, you saw the racing and you saw this man here. Let me just find him. It's Mr. Radek Schuller. He's in the pits at the moment. That's good, isn't it? No, we saw Radek Schuller last week absolutely dominate the race at the Nürburgring by quite some distance as well. However, we've got Mo Plate this week in qualifying. He has managed to qualify P1. So Mo Plate is a one to watch. Well, Radek and Mo Plate are one to watch. We'll just we've got 4 minutes to go, so I wanted to run through tonight's drivers, the top 10 drivers in quali. We got Mo Plate, which managed to qualify a 134.6. Radek Schuller was not far behind him with a 134.8, followed by RWB Door 134.9. Jack Alexander will be starting 4th tonight, followed by Kai Banks, who will be starting 5th. Justin Madley in 6th. Kai and Madley will be rubbing bumpers with each other, no doubt, tonight. Followed by Mr. Varley, which is great to see. Phil Varley, currently in P7, he qualified. Martin Schaefer in P8. Rick Binnesley in P9. And Kevin Shepherd, our Shepherd of RWB, has qualified in 10th position. This week we're seeing the guys driving at Donington Park Motorsport Circuit, located near Castle Donington in Leicestershire. Originally part of the Donington Hall estate, it was created a racing circuit during the period between the First and Second World Wars, when the German Silver Arrows were battling for the European Championship. Used as a military vehicle storage depot during the Second World War, it fell into disrepair until bought by local construction entrepreneur Tom Wheatcroft. Revived under his ownership in the 1970s, it's hosted a single Formula One race in 1993, but became the favoured home of the British round of MotoGP Motorcycling Championship. So, let's just have a quick look on the track, see if we can see some people still practicing. We got Jack Alexander on track, currently the number 1 car. How did you wangle that, Jack? Can't believe no one else went for a number 1 car. So Jack Alexander's on track at the moment. He's currently he's benchmarking in the 136.1s in a very attractive looking BMW. However, I don't know why I find that attractive. The colour schemes just look great. We're live on YouTube tonight. We're live on YouTube chat, so feel free, guys and girls, to give us a little tinkle and say hello. Shout out, root out for your top drivers, and we're running in some nice graphics tonight on YouTube. So if you notice a difference in the stream and it looks good, please let us know too. Another new format, we've got a few driver profiles tonight we'll be running through, and while we've got a minute, roughly just a minute left, we'll run through our first guy tonight, and that's Mr. Door. So Mr. Door is in-game name RWB Door. He pretty much drives any kind of choice of sim race. He drives any choice of car in ACC. A racer of Project Cars 2, but not for a long time, so ACC is his main one. He doesn't have any rivals in RWB, funny enough. So, and he's been sim racing for around 4. Door, what is that? 4 months, 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 years? Come on. And he's powered by some intergalactic spicy stuff, so that was a pretty quick profile by Door. But yeah, there we go. 26 seconds until we get the cars lining up on the grid, and we see how the start of round 2 Clash of the Warriors is going to pan out. They'd have had their driver briefing by Rigel. They've got 4 minutes now. So in this time, 4 minutes to go, they'll be having a look at their setup. So they'll be having a look at the track temperature. It's absolutely unusually warm for the track this week. We're at 26 degrees track temperature, 20 degrees out there, sunny. Doesn't look like we're going to have any problems with the rain. It doesn't look like we're going to have any problems with tires. Tires going cold or warm. I think if they've been doing the practice, they'll be able to manage what they've got pretty well. The track itself, for those of you who are familiar with Donington and those of you who aren't familiar with Donington, there's going to be some really interesting places and interesting points to overtake tonight, and this is something that they would have been talking about in the driver profile or driver briefings. So Donington Park obviously has going into they're going to have to be careful on the first corner, second corner, third corner, and especially at the old hairpin, the fourth turn before Starkey's Bridge. As long as the drivers get through the old hairpin carefully and don't try and do anything too silly and pass Starkey's Bridge, the next time they're going to be a little bit in trouble is at Coppice, turn 8. Once they've done Coppice, their next challenge will be the S's, turn 9. Once they've done the S's, which drivers can get, they can get some penalties here, and they can get some warnings. So ACC, you get 3 warnings. After the third warning, you're going to get a drive-through or a 30-second penalty. So they're going to have to be careful with the S's. You've got Melbourne hairpin, turn 11. That is also going to be a key point for some of those who want to be daring and do some dive bombs on the inside. I shouldn't say dive bombs. Basically be a little later on their brakes on the inside at turn 11. And then the famous turn 12, Goddard's, going into the Wheatcross straight. Goddard's is interesting because Goddard's is almost a bit like a blind braking point there and a blind corner. Once you actually start braking and committing to the turn, you can then see the points you need to make at Goddard's, and then it's all down the straight and back to another round. So 1 minute 36 seconds left to go. They'll be getting their refreshments sorted, done their P breaks. Some of them will have race engineers, some of them will have people talking to them and giving them some advice. Others will just be sweating their bollocks off right now, waiting to see what happens. For one, this is really important. Plate needs to get this done. He's on the inside, so that's really good. He's on the inside. He needs to get this done. He needs to keep Schuller behind him. Let there be some pressure between Dor and Alexander as well. Kai Banks, he needs to keep his head down. I don't think Madley is present tonight, so that's interesting. We've got no Madley. So it's actually going to be Kai Banks, Phil Varley in 6th, Martin Schaefer 7th, Rick Binnisley in 8th. Kev Shepard has now been promoted to 9th because Madley's not here. Uzma Karolia is now 10th. I was talking to Karolia earlier on and commenting on a lovely little sim rig housing setup they're going to have soon in their house. So lucky people. It looks very, very cool. 26 seconds to go. Again, give us a shout in YouTube if you've got any questions or you want to route out to anybody, and we can certainly follow them. Yeah, let's enjoy this race. Session starting in under 5 seconds now. 1 second, and they are starting to go. They'll be grouped up 2 by 2. There'll be some people trying to get a little bit of a gap, they'll be doing some cheeky braking here, trying to warm their tyres up, trying to warm their brakes up. Some of them will put the brakes on quite late, and then they'll try and get themselves a decent run up onto the main straight and into the braking. That can be a bit cheeky. So I did it last week. I did it on the CC Championship at RWB Run. I fell back a little bit, then started accelerating. This is what Jack Alexander's doing in that BMW, that white BMW in the background there. But it will be lights out and away they go any minute into the first corner. Emo Plate and Radek Schuler, they are away and they're going, and their side. That was a great start by all the top 5 there. And Emo Plate just slightly slower on the brakes, but Dor's going on the inside, which makes Schuller lose a position into 3rd, and that gives Alexander and Kai Banks, that are currently challenging, coming into the first few corners, They were side by side, but I believe Kai Banks has just dropped back a little bit, and now they're going into the sweeping right-hand turn that everybody needs to behave with. We'll look in back of the pack a little bit to see if there's any problems on with Mad out at the moment. Going to Flack. It all seems pretty good. Matt Shablom's gone. Matt Shablom has, unfortunately, he's had a little bit of a spin. Is that with Dirk Greshel? No, it is with someone else. The timings haven't updated, but that is Matt Shablom. Currently, it looks like he's in last. Richard Jones, we're currently following. But let's go back to Mo Plate at the front. Mo Plate has got a mighty start against Door. So Schuller will be absolutely fuming at that. He got a little bit squeezed to the left. Door took advantage, went on the inside, and managed to get the job done. But don't get me wrong, Schuller is definitely looking, having a sneaky look then to try and get that position back off Door, and he seems to have survived. Door has survived another corner, but let's just look on the wing of Door very, very quickly. He's got Schuller behind him. Kai Banks has managed to get into fourth. He's taken Jack Alexander. Jack Alexander in fifth. Schaefer sixth. Barley seventh. Kevin Shepherd in eighth. Rick Binnesley in ninth. Carolia 10th. And Schuller is just giving the Dragon a little bit of a poke there and seeing what he can do. Let's just stay focused on these guys at the moment, because it's absolutely vital here that Schuller gets past if he can. RWB Door. Banksy is also sneaks on the inside. That could have been very dangerous then. Schuller gets just a little bit out of control. That is a big blow to him, because now I believe that's Alexander. That is Alexander fighting for Radek Schuller as well, which can potentially, that will put Schuller into fifth place, I believe it will be. And I believe that right-hand turn, Alexander's going to have the inside line. So Schuller, it's an hour and 45 minutes, gents. So let's not do anything crazy. Let's not do anything stupid. Let's just chill a bit. The last thing these guys want to do is cause any problems. But that is... oh, sorry, I've gotten this totally wrong. I do apologise. Schuller is in third. That was actually Door. That's my bad completely. That was actually Door that got overtaken by Jack Alexander and has lost the positions a bit there. So I did a David Croft then. I got that totally wrong. And Schuller is still in third position. And it's actually Kai Banks that has taken advantage of all that kerfuffle that was going on and has now got himself into second place. So Banksy, Mr. Kai Banksy there, is he's going to be playing his cards right. And yeah, he's going to definitely have a smile on his face, and no doubt we'll be hearing about that after the race is done, as long as he keeps that position and keeps his cool. So let's go down the field a little bit and let's have a look and see what is going on with our shepherd, Kev. We'll just take a look at the helicopter and see from there. He's got himself a pretty decent gap. He's just around a second behind Schaefer, and he's got a second 0.1 behind Binnesley, which we were commenting today and actually saying that Binnesley was actually in a car that isn't pink. Now, a couple of things could have happened there. Binnesley could have not uploaded a skin in time, or Binnesley's just, you know, the pink's old fashioned. It's gone and done. We don't want pink anymore. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But Binnesley is currently trailing behind in 9th position, and Kevin Shepherd seems to have a decent gap, just minding his own business, chilling out and enjoying himself a little bit there. If we go down the field a little bit more and just have a look at Nigel Wood, which is currently challenging Dave Barnett for P11. Nigel Wood in P12, with Peter Varga in a very striking blue and yellow BMW GT4 car right behind him now, actually challenging for position as we speak. So it'll be interesting to see what Peter Varga can do going into the that final hairpin that you either get it right or you get it wrong. And Varga seemed to have a slightly better corner into it, but then not as much of a good exit as Nigel Wood had. So Nigel Wood got a bit of distance on him, and I always like seeing these cars at full chat, especially if we have a look at Peter Varga now on the rear wing of Nigel Wood, but Nigel seems to be challenging Barnett as well, actually getting quite close to Barnett, coming into the sweeping right-hand corner. And you see, depending on what kind of traction control these guys are running on these cars, if any, it just depends how they come out of these exits and how twitchy that car gets. And sometimes that can be race over if you take that wrong and the car's just a little bit twitchy. Same as getting onto power, coming out of this corner here, and this little blind braking corner here. You get it just right, you'll get it spot on. Daniel Barnett seems to be just struggling a little bit there, giving Nigel Wood and Peter Varga the opportunity to get a little bit closer. Here's the yeses we were talking about earlier on. Those ones that if you get those wrong, you can get a little warning, you can get a little drive-through penalty, and that can be the end of your race. Just looking back though from Barnett, Nigel Wood and Varga going side by side, and that is Varga going round the outside, but he just broke too late, and that is what happens, ladies and gents, when people get a little bit ballsy on the brakes. But that was very, very interesting from Varga, and if he pulled that off, that's either one of those moves that really work well, or it's gonna get you for the race. And he just went very wide there, and that gives Mr. Damien Wilk and Tyrion, or should I say Tyron? No, that gives RWB Tyrion and Damien Wilk a little opportunity to give Varga a little poke as well and say, hey, guess what? You made a mistake. I'm right behind you now, and I'm going to put some pressure on you. And Damien is usually my rival, but tonight it looks like he's going to be Tyrion Dave's rival or Peter Varga's rival. So, yeah, Charger, what has happened? I didn't even see. I didn't even slightly tapped FX and spun him, no drama, but then got smashed up the rear. Charger, join us in comms, man. Join us in comms. Talk to us about it. We always love you. We always need you. Just saw my mentor Varley's racing. Haven't seen him in a league racing for ages. That was from Emil Shablom. I want a mentor. Why don't I have a mentor? I want someone to mentor me. That's just not fair. Why don't I get that? Still on board with these guys right now. We've got an hour and 37 minutes left to go on the race. They're currently on lap 4, and we're looking at Damien Wilk, Tyrion and Peter Varga. I don't want to step away from this race as we see Tyrion having a little tiny look on the inside of Damien, kind of have a little squeeze, have a little look, just make sure Damien knows, hey, guess what, I'm here. What are you going to do about it? What's he going to do about this part? Are there going to be any ballsy braking? Is Tyrion going to try on the outside? Is he going to? He's definitely made it stick better than Varga made it. But Wilk is, they're side by side. This is really interesting. They're going to come side by side. Tyrion's got the inside. If he gets this right and doesn't allow Damien to do a switch around, which Damien is looking at doing, but he's had to apply the brakes or he'd have gone straight into the back of Tyrion Dave there. Tyrion has gotten that move done and he's up into 14th, and he can now challenge Peter Varga. Looking down the field, we've got a couple more races. We've got Magnus Dahlgren currently in front, currently behind Mad Owl in P16, Dahlgren in P17, and I believe they've got a little bit of a second gap from Xavier Jenny. But these two also fighting quite hard for position. And Mad Owl at the moment, this is pretty much where we like to see Mad Owl. He's pretty much, if you say to Mad Owl that you're going to get P16 tonight, he'll be happy with that. If you say to Mad Owl he's going to be in the top 10, he'll be ecstatic with that. If he's at the back, he won't be very happy. So Dahlgren racing a little bit slower than I'd like to usually see him race, but maybe his qualifying wasn't as decent. But we'll stick with these two for a second and just have a quick look at Mad Owl's rear bumper here. I love seeing this, especially with BMW GT4s. They look so awesome. They look a lot more. I'm still not won over fully on the M4. It's growing on me. It's looking great, but the GT4s, they just look great. They look aggressive. I think because we see more of them out on the streets usually, that's what we like about them as well. But yeah, so currently on board, looking at RWB, Mad Owl, our chief steward. He'll want to make sure this is clean, and I always wonder if maybe Dahlgren's thinking as well, I don't want to push it on the inside of Mad Owl, but guess what, I'm going to. I don't want to clip Mad Owl because he's not going to be very happy if I do, but he is right on his rear bumper there, and he is not giving Mad Owl any kind of squeeze. We'll have a look at that fight between Jenny and Partez in a minute, but has he gone on the inside? He has gone in the inside. Dahlgren got a ballsy move on the inside there, and that should, unless Mad Owl decides to fight back, which I'm not too sure if he's going to. There we go now. The two drivers driving into that fast sweeping right-hand side now. Are we going to see what they're doing? Are we going to see what they're doing? I think Dahlgren's got that move done now. And that, let's not ignore these two behind, Xavier and apologies if I get it wrong, Partes, but Partes right behind Xavier Jenny, and they're also obviously fighting very hard for 18th and 19th place as well. We've got 33, well, we had 33 drivers in the race tonight. Unfortunately, it seems like we've had a retirement from Bill Jones, RWB Charger. We've had a retirement from Matt Schblom and Matt Hodgson, currently in 32nd position. 45, 44 seconds gap. We'll have a little look. On Matt Hodgson's car here. Can we see any damage? Can we see, has he had a drive through? What, I wonder, happened there? If we look onto the YouTube chat, we had obviously, Charger was saying he was slightly tapped by FX, which spun him, or slightly tapped FX, spun FX. No drama, then got smashed up the rear. I wonder if Hodgson smashed him. Yeah, that's interesting. We will have to continue to have a good look on that. Don't stop, stick in it, Hodgson. We know you can do it, mate. Let's meanwhile, we've kind of ignored Mo Plate up front there. He's got a 2.2, 1.6. Well, it was 2.2. Now it's 1.6 second gap from Mr. Schuller. So Schuller has managed to get past Kai Banks, and I believe Kai Banks is being challenged at the moment from Jack Alexander. Jack Alexander is right on his tail. Let's have a look at Jack there, and let's have a look on the onboard of Jack. Currently racing Kai into the S's. He seems to have some cheeky pace on Kai Banks. Now, as he goes slightly wide onto the green stuff, is he going to do it? Is he going to poke on the inside? I always get nervous whenever you're a driver racing. Banksy going very, very wide there, which gives Jack the opportunity to go on the inside and put some acceleration. Go on the outside, I mean. Let's just see how these guys do here. Jack's got the perfect braking marker where Banksy hasn't. And I believe... Oh, no, Banksy has still got... He is still ahead. But these guys might be playing different with fuel loads. Now, last week, we saw... I was racing last week. I was in the race myself last week, and we saw that the tyres on the GT3 version of the M4, they suffered at the end if you're not good at managing your tyres, or if you're pushing your tyres a little too hard, and they were almost over 2 seconds slower with some drivers who didn't change their tyres. So, are these guys going to change their tyres tonight when they come into the pits? Are they going to refuel? Are some of these guys split the fuel? I think, I might be wrong here, but I think the cars can go an entire race without having to fuel. So, maybe they've done that. Maybe Jack has less fuel than Banksy. Maybe Banksy is going full beans with a full fuel load, and that's why he's struggling so much. All I do know is these guys up front, Mo Plate and Radek Schuller, they're going to be trading off lap times with each other. Mo Plate 136.2, Radek Schuller 135.9. He's 0.3, 0.4 seconds faster than Mo Plate in front. However, Mo Plate's best lap 135.4, Radek Schuller's best lap 135.5. So Mo Plate is a 0.1 of a second faster than Schuller on the actual best lap times. So he's got the pace. It's just whether he's taking it too much or whether he's slightly slowing down a little bit. Let's go down the field. Let's have a quick look. So we got Miko Sky is now in the pits. Miko Sky, something's happened to him. I'm not too sure. He pitted on lap 8. Is he pitting for damage? Is he No, something must have happened to Miko because he's now pitting. He's now pitting in. So something's obviously happened. I think he's not retired. Not gone and done, but we'll just have a look, see if anything goes on there. RWB Rigel, also we have Rigel in 31st position now, so something's either happened Do you know what? I just had to double take, ladies and gents. And for a second, then I actually thought we had a copper car on track, but that is a RWB Rigel using a absolutely fantastic skin. You got to give him efforts for that. That's 10 out of 10. Yeah. So Rigel's in 31st position. I'm not sure whether he's pitted or not. I'm not sure whether he's had a bit of a to do with someone, because Josh Butler's now in 30th, Victor's in 29th, FX is in 28th, and Matt Hodgson has found himself up into 27th position. So you have to remember, this chap here was dead stone last about 4 or 5 laps ago. Now he's in 27th position. He's got Florentin in front of him by 5.5 seconds, and FX now behind him with a 1.1 second gap. So either something's happened with the guys and they've had to hold position, they've had an off or something. Sorry, I'll just have a look at this, because it looks like FX and Susilo are actually fighting for position here. FX currently in 29th position, which means maybe Susilo has... oh, no, they've swapped positions maybe, or Victor's... I'm very confused by this. No, sorry. Victor's miles ahead. He's done the move. He's into 28th, and now FX is actually being challenged by Josh Butler in the car number 881 BMW in 30th position. So something's obviously happened to FX, because I did see him. Oh yeah, FX has just gone very, very wide there as well. So I'm guessing FX's car is a little bit toasted, and we'll soon see now. A bit of late brake in there. Can he keep the position? Can he keep the car's aero going? He's very wide there, so that car does not look happy. Damn. If someone knows what's happened, please let me know. Oh yeah, there's definitely seems contact with those guys. Meanwhile, up front, we're gonna go straight on to Jack Alexander, because he is being challenged by Kai Banks for 4th position at the moment, and we're just going to stay with these guys for a second. You got MO Plate 2.2 seconds behind, in front of Radek Schuler at the moment, and Radek Schuler has got an almighty gap formed from P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, P9, and P10. Actually, I say we're going to focus on these guys. We're actually going to have a look at Kevin Shepherd, because he's got Carolia challenging him. They're not back close. Well, they're 0.4 seconds behind each other, with Binnisley in front of them, currently in 7th place. But Carolia was just giving him a little challenge on the inside, and he was just doing it again. Let's just see how they do coming up to the first corner and down the main straight and into the first corner. It looks like Carolia seemed to have a slightly better line into his corners. He's definitely braking a lot later, and he gets a good line as well. So that, no doubt, is going to put a bit of pressure, or a lot of pressure, on Kevin Shepherd, and that might be what Carolia is after. He might be after that little bit of pressure on him. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens between these two, and we'll stick with them for a little bit. So let's just go to YouTube. We're being all interactive and lovely here tonight. The fuel consumption per lap, Emil. Does anyone know the fuel consumption per lap that they can tell Emil in the YouTube channel? Maybe with some fuel saving. It can be 0 stops, Emil says. Evening to Ross Hayden. Thank you for watching the stream, Ross. Feel free to enjoy, comment, make any chats you want to. And Charger, it was Sky I tangled with. Matt's hit me, I couldn't avoid. So Matt Hodgson hit Charger. Charger, if that was Matt Hodgson that hit you, you have put yourself in for a target. You've become a target, because Matt will not be happy with that. If you've affected his ratings, you're in trouble, young man. But seriously though, Kevin Shepherd, Kev's driving an absolutely stunning race tonight, because this isn't usually where Kevin Shepherd would be. I don't want to make you sound bad, Kev, but you know, usually you're consistently in the top 20, top 25. But to push out the qualifying performance you have this week, maybe Donington's a good track for you, and to keep that 8th position, especially with people like Wood, Carolia, Varga, Tyrion all behind you, you're doing a damn good job there. Ladies and gents, I'm just going to take a quick 1-2 minute break. We're going to stay focused on Kevin Shepherd and Carolia while I take that break. Put your sound up, put your volume up, have a look at these two fighting, and I will be with you again in just a quick minute. Hello, I am back. Sorry for that, ladies and gents. Well, I'll explain to you the real reason why I have had to quickly go away for a minute while we watch. Oh, Shepherd is just... I mean, what are we seeing here? We're seeing Shepherd, Carolia and Nigel Wood, all three of them challenging for the 8th position here. It looks like Carolia has just managed to get that position off Kevin Shepherd, and now Kevin Shepherd is pressured by Nigel Wood. As I said, it's been absolutely phenomenal that Kevin is in this current position on grid, but Wood will know. He was following Carolia, he was following Shepherd, and he might know where the weak spots are and where he might be able to take advantage of Shepherd as he gets a better run off there and seems to be able to travel a bit wider and get a bit more speed on as they're going on to these fast left hand corners. Again, if I was Shepherd, I'd have been a bit further left so I could take that corner deeper, but he seems to be holding it well. So very well done to our Shepherd there. But again, do you know what? He's managed to get back behind Carolia and challenge there as well. Let's just have a quick look down the field. A few more drivers and races that we're seeing. Apologies, it's Mad Out at the moment we want to have a look at. And Eugenie is in 19th position, currently challenging Mad Owl for that position of 18th. Again, nice to see these drivers in the positions they're in, and nice to see them doing what they're doing. Oh, match for Blom Charger, that's fine, that's lovely. Again, if any of you guys who have got the access to or want to join me in the commentary channel, you're more than welcome to. As I said, I had to take a quick break. I'll be honest with you, everyone, the facilities that RWB International give you when you're commentating are terrible. They literally put you in a cupboard under the stairs and they give you a bucket. So if you need a pee break, you have a bucket, that is it. And a cupboard under the stairs with minimal lighting, literally. That's the kind of conditions we have to live in now, and it's no surprise to me that you know, some of the guys this week would rather stay at home and study. We are missing the legendary Panda tonight in commentary and Drake. Hope you guys can come back soon, and they're enjoying some study time. I'm sure they're not enjoying the study time tonight. I'm sure they're absolutely hating studying. But new year. New studies we have to do. Let's go down the field let's go up the field from the back. Sorry. So we've currently got in 31st position Josh Butler. Josh Butler, I think he's a bit new with us. I haven't seen Josh Butler before. I could be wrong though. If anyone of you know Josh, he's currently pitting. That BMW doesn't look healthy, Josh. I don't know what you've done, but it doesn't look good. In 30th position, we've got FX, which is, I think FX must be he must be a bit broken as well, a bit broken, because he is currently lapping in the 138s. Midfield are lapping 137s. So, sorry, he's lapping 139, sorry, 138 was his best lap. So he's in the 139s at the moment, and the rest of the field, 10th place up, are doing 137s, 138. So he's almost 2 seconds behind those kind of paces, and you can see that. In 29th position, we've got Harry Hottie in a lovely tricorp coloured skinned BMW. Again, he's just been doing some 140 his last lap, best lap of 137. So currently he's got nothing in front of him and nothing behind him. RWB Rigel in their copper car. Just put your beacons on, Rigel. Put your lights on. Put your flashers on. Well, to be fair, actually, I don't know what the law is. Actually, I should do, but I don't. If the car in front of you is quicker than the emergency response car, even with their flashers on, does the car in front then not have to get out of the way? I don't know. So actually, Rigel, it might not work. So I wouldn't bother. But I'm guessing there must be some sort of entanglement happen with Rigel's car as well, because Mr. The track chief track master, he's not usually in 28th position. He's usually a lot further up. However, we've got 1 minute 20 second, 1 hour and 20 second. What am I saying? 1 hour and 20 minutes to go. 1 hour and 20 minutes to go of this race at Donington Park. And if he has come into the pits and he has had a little squirt of fuel and repair, that guy's going to be fast. He is actually currently lapping in the same kind of times the top 15 are doing. So he's going to be catching, and the person he's going to be catching is Victor Susilo. So Victor Cecilo is currently in P27 and he's fighting against Car 24 Lee Duckworth. And they're racing quite well in their own little race at the moment for 26th. Just a reminder, points mean prizes, and you get points whether you're in first or the last. You still accumulate the points, and that can be the magic difference between someone who leaves a race and doesn't get any and someone who finishes a race and gets a point more than that person leaving does. So it doesn't matter what position you're in. Every point matters when you're racing in these leagues, especially in the event, especially when you look at it at the end. So Victor Cecilo currently racing in 27th, and he's chasing Lee Duckworth in 26th position. If we look on the rear wing of Lee at the moment, we can see Victor in the background. These guys are lapping pretty damn similar to each other at the moment. So I think they're going to be. I think this is a race which we're going to stick with, or at least look into later on down the line, because I have no doubt these guys are going to continue racing hard. Mr. Hodgson, I don't know how to describe Hodgson. If you were to see him on a Wreckfest Wednesday night, he's a nutter. Let's just put it that way. He's a nutter. Hodgson recently has done some awesome stuff with sim gear, and we actually have a profile on Hodgson, which we'll go over. We'll go over Hodgson's profile if I can find him. Mr. Hodgson currently in P25 and lapping in the 137.7. So he's lapping quite respectably at the moment. And look. Mr. Hodgson, Lumpy Hamster, his other race name. His choice of car in ACC is the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. He also plays Race Room and Automobilista 2, as well as ACC, which is what we're on board with now. His rival in RWB is Charger and Harry Hottie. So I don't know what he's got against you guys. But yeah, Charger, you're his rival, and Harry Hottie's his rival. So he's been sim racing for about 10 months. Now, I don't know whether he's been sim racing with RWB for about 10 months, or whether he's just been sim racing in general for 10 months, but he's quite a newbie if that's the case. So for his current pace and current time, if he's only been doing it for 10 months, then spot on, mate. Matt Hodgson is using a Fanatec CSW 2.5 wheelbase with a Formula V2 wheel and the Club Sport V3 pedals. So Fanatec, if you're ever reading this, this man needs a little tick, because he's sporting your gear and racing well with it. So keep the pace, Matt. That's awesome in 25th. Further on down, we've got Bucar Florentin, currently having a race of his own in P24. Audi, our resident RWB Audi, is in 23rd position at the moment and is sniffing Flack's arse for position. And look at him there, getting very close indeed to Flack. This is an interesting one, isn't it? Because Flack, I can tell you, has been racing in some new positions with he's got some new gear to mount his wheel to. So Flack is going to be looking at Audi and worrying a little bit there. And Audi was one of those people last week that were treating the tyres like a pampered princess and keeping those tyres till the end. Because when I changed my tyres last week and Audi was right up my arse a lap down, and I couldn't shift him, I said to Audi, you must change your tyres. And he went, nope. I was like, but how were you lapping that kind of time? And he said, actually, I was the fastest I ever was without changing my tyres. Who have we seen just go there? Was that Richard Jones? That was Richard Jones in 21st, which has just escalated Flack. It's put Flack into 21st, Audi into 22nd position, and Richard will not be happy about that. Just a simple little mistake, not a problem, but it's taken him down into 23rd. So now we'll focus on RWB Flack in 21st position. Currently, he has Audi behind him, racing for position there. And right in front, is that... No, that's not Dirk in front. Dirk Gretschel is in P20. That must have been a back marker they were coming up to. Xavier Jenny in 19th position, with Mad Owl just behind him, but just in front of him in 18th position. Those two are currently fighting. You've got Pates in 17th position right on Damien Wilkes' position, who's currently 16th. Barnett in front of him. He's got a lovely gap. Barnett's perfectly situated, and he's currently in P15. Magnus Dahlgren in P14. You've got RWB Tyrion currently 13th. Dor in 12th. Peter Varga 11th. Now Peter looks like he's sniffing up the rear of Nigel Wood. So this could be one which we stick to for a bit. Let's go on board with Mr. Wood. These guys obviously racing hard, racing fast, hard, and fair at the moment, and it's this kind of time in the race. It's about now 1 minute, 1 hour 13 left. You've kind of separated out a little bit. You kind of split yourselves up a little bit. So now I'd say it's probably worth pushing a little bit more. And Nigel Wood, last lap, he did a 138.5, so he obviously had a little bit of an off. Peter Varga, last lap, did a 136.9. And 136.695 was his fastest lap of the race. So Varga has put the pressure on now, and he's on it, pretty much. And but just behind him, by the looks of things, is RWB Dor. Kevin Shepherd just in front of Nigel Wood, or was that a back marker, I wonder? I think that might have been a back. No, it wasn't a back marker. It was Kevin Shepherd. He just went slightly wide coming out of the turn 11, I think it is, or turn 10. And now we're following. We've got a nice little train of cars here, looking at Kevin Shepherd, Nigel Wood, Peter Varga, and I think Dor is now behind him as well. So obviously Dor maybe has pitted, or maybe that was repercussion from the mess that Dor got into earlier on in the race. But right in front as well, Kevin Shepherd is still on Carolia's tail. If you remember earlier on in the race, we saw Carolia just get a good move done on Shepherd on the inside. But Shepherd's not giving that up. This is his opportunity to finish in 8th, and he's certainly not going to let it go. Looking on the inside then and having a little wobble around to try and find out. And, you know, Carolia just went up that curb. You saw his car bounce very slightly. So he's pushing. He's pushing, and Kev's obviously pushing as well because he's got Nigel Wood behind him. So we're just going to stay on this battle at the moment. Let's check YouTube. Indeed we shall. So no, it was Masha Blom, RWB Charger, said, and yeah, I don't know who Neek Stam is, whether it's Panda or Drake, but one of them have just said in YouTube, who must be watching the stream, they're not enjoying it. They're not enjoying the studying. So that is a shame, my friend. But hey, you know, look, you got to study, or if you don't study, you'll be sitting there on a sim rig for the rest of your life, winning races. Right, okay, so let's just have a quick look down our positions. We've been obviously focused on Carolia for a while, and Shepherd. This is a great racing between these guys. Let's just quickly mention Rick Binnersley as we're going up the grid. In 7th position, it looks to me like Rick has pretty much had a quiet race. I want to be careful when I say quiet, but not much has been going on for this man. He's obviously sitting in position and waiting for something to happen, but maybe pit times it'll change. But yeah, Rick Binnersley in 7th, Martin Schaefer in a very beautiful BMW in 6th position. I like that. I don't know what the viewers in YouTube think, but that car looks absolutely stunning. Very nice. That is definitely one of the race for me. That car, it looks absolutely gorgeous, just because it's colourful and vibrant. So Schaefer in 6th position. You can just see Binnersley behind him there, but not really making any headway. Varley in 5th. Varley seems to be having a race of his own as well. I know Kai Banks is not too far in front of him in 4th place, but still, I mean, those kind of gaps are like miles for some people. You know, Kai and Varley are both lapping very, very similar to each other in the 36s at the moment. So it takes a mistake for those two to really get onto each other and get on top of each other. Mr. Alexander is rocking it in third position. I mentioned his skin earlier on his car. I do like it, the old X style in front, which is very nice. So he's lapping in the 136s. Mo Plate is in second place right now. That is right. Just take a big note of what I've just said. Plate is in second place, and Schuller, he's in first place. So these two, Schuller's just basically lapped someone, but these two, let's look where Schuller is. Plate's coming up to the guy that Schuller's just lapped. I don't know what's happened. I don't know how that's happened, but Schuller is ahead of Plate here. Now, what does that mean for Schuller? Not a lot, if I'm brutally honest with you, because in the results from last week's race, Schuller was first place. He got 100 points. I think he got fastest lap as well. He led. They did 54 laps last week at Nürburgring. He led 52 of them. that kind of tells you. That tells you what kind of pace that guy had. He had the fastest lap last week. He got 100 points. Okay. If he gets the fastest lap this week, he gets 200 points. Now, Dorr finished second last week. He's nowhere near second this week. And Kai Banks finished third. This could be a significant chunk to Schuller if he finishes in first place this week. It will really, really help him out massively. So it's definitely one to watch. It's definitely one to see. See what happens with it. Charger says he's free for a natter, so I'm just wondering if I can drag him down into a commentary box, but I can't see him, so I can't drag you down if I can't see you. I don't know where you are, but if you're free, pop in, Charger. It'd be great to hear from you. It'd be great to hear what happened in your race. And it was Drake, everybody, that says they're not enjoying the studying. So Drake, don't worry about it, man. You'll be fine. I just noticed though, Tyrion has got, is that Magnus Dahlgren? That is Magnus Dahlgren. So Tyrion and Dahlgren are currently fighting for 11th position. I just noticed on my stream, and here's Charger. Is that Charger? Yes. Yeah. Hello, mate. How are you?
Right.
Oh, dude. Let us know what happened. We're on board with Tyrion at the moment, watching Dahlgren try and get a cheeky poke. But what happened? What happened, dude?
I had a look back on the replay. I tapped the rear of Miko. I don't know whether he was coming across or I was with. It was just a slight tap, but all hell broke loose. His car spun around. I stopped. I managed to get stopped, so I didn't T-bone him. But then a couple of cars, obviously, behind us couldn't avoid it, and I got rear-ended, flipped over, and major damage, and teleported back to the pits. So it was pretty much race over, and then they fixed the car and put tyres on, because I've got tyres, and I had 17 PSI on them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's just... What?
Why? What corner was it that you did to tap, just out of curiosity? Like...
Third? First lap?
See,
third?
Oh, I'm just watching Tyrion and Dahlgren. Dahlgren has just gone on the inside. Oh, no. Dahlgren just got on the inside of Tyrion. I wasn't sure what corner that was. It could have been the long sweeping right, but Dahlgren lost control of the car. And do you know what? This is crazy, because that was exactly the same thing that happened to Dahlgren in the CC Championship on Tuesday with me. So he just lost the back end, tried recovering it. It snapped back and hit the side of Tyrion. Tyrion went off onto the green. Dahlgren went a little bit more wobbly. They both seem to be back on track, and they haven't lost position. So that was a scary moment for both of them. Racing hard, boys, and fair. So yeah, they just need to focus again. Sorry, Dahlgren is going for the inside, turn 11 inside on Tyrion. He just gets the move done. Makes you wonder. That was ballsy. I remember making a move like that to on you, Charger, and it didn't go down too well. But yeah, what I was saying before these guys made the moves was I remember the CC Championship on Tuesday. All I did was the smallest of taps on someone, and that sent them going as well. And I don't know whether it's the track and the elevation changes or the fact what it is, but
It's just ridiculous sometimes. I mean, we were doing race room last night with the DTM 95s, and we were scraping doors and all sorts, getting tapped up the rear, and respectful racing. But these small taps shouldn't create a freaking landmine. I mean, it's just. I'm just so pissed off with it, to be honest.
track's not greasy. It's not
No,
wet.
perfect track.
It's 27 degrees. It's clear. Yeah, you shouldn't. Unless you're hitting them up the rear at high speed. It seems to be the world of ACC that it is. It's getting better.
I probably had about 3 or 4 inches of my car on his rear corner.
Yeah.
And there was just contact. He was, like I said, it wasn't that. If I stopped, he would have been fine. We both had no damage, but the knock-on effect, of course, was the cars behind, which created I think it took out Miko's retired. I'm not sure about Matt's because he went full chat into the back of the money, so I don't know if he's still racing, you know.
Nick Schlum is he's out. He's out.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It's just one of those things.
I feel awful, but it was just such a silly little thing.
Look, we were talking about it the other day in Discord, weren't we? It's a racing incident, and it's a race, and it's a mistake, and it could happen to anybody. It can happen to Mo Plate, it could happen to Radek Schuller, it can happen to Kai Banks. It's sometimes it's that unavoidable circumstance, and it's always a 1 or 2 lap start that it can happen on, and I don't feel awful about it, mate. It's one of those things that happen. Tomorrow,
I just don't have much luck with ACC, to be honest, at the minute. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah.
I'm getting a bit
Well,
to just hang these ACC boots up.
Don't do that, man. Just a quick one. Mo Plate has taken P1 again. He's managed to get back into P1. That is due to Radek Schuller pitting. Now, the interesting thing here. Now, we were talking about this earlier on, Charge. I don't know if you've managed to do it or that was your tactic for the race, but Schuller's come back into the pits, so I don't know whether he was given a drive-through or something, or what has happened. But Schuller's come back into the pits. It's now dropped, so that's really hit him, and he's in 6th position now. Mo Plate's still out. Now, can you do a full race with fuel charge, or is it not achievable?
No.
Okay,
tires will be fine, but you'll definitely need some fuel at some point. These guys might be short pitting, doing it early.
Yeah.
Get out of the traffic,
Yeah, I was assuming Schuller had pitted already, but here's the really embarrassing thing now. If Schuller doesn't get a move on, he's going to get lapped by Mo Plate. Because Mo Plate's going through the S's in P1.
How long was he in the pits?
Well, I think Schuller's already had to pit. I don't know if someone can correct me on that in YouTube or something. But
I doubt if he'd have been in that position if he'd already pitted once, though, would he?
He's just leaving the pits now. Schuller's just leaving the pits now. Mo Plate is... Oh, no, it's going to be okay. So Schuller's leaving the pits, and Mo Plate's coming around the last corner. Wow, that is a turn of events. Hey, this is ACC. This is racing. A minute ago, we were talking about Schuller being in P1, having 100 points already, another 100 points, 200 points, banging the championship at lead, and now something drastic has happened, which has really hindered his race. And Plate is now in P1, really ahead of Jack Alexander in P2, and Jack's ahead of Kai Banks by some clear margin as well. So yeah, it's anyone's game now. It's absolutely anybody's game. Wow, I'd love to know what's happened. I'd love to know, but currently all that kerfuffle has put Schuller in 22nd position. That's not what he would have wanted, especially being 2-3 seconds, well, at least 2 seconds quicker than a lot of the pack. So yeah, it's either a crash happened, or Charger. I've just seen the picture you put in the league chat.
Oh, it was bad, yeah.
Who was that? Who was that on the side? Was that you?
Me?
Oh,
I got scooped. Yeah, flipped over.
oh shit!
The car was that. I don't know whether it automatically teleports you back to the pits when you're on your roof, but yeah, I didn't even get a chance to stop sliding on the roof. I was still sliding, and then I was in the pits. I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh Jesus, man! Drake's going to be joining us in the commentary box as well. He's finished his studies, so he better have finished his studies, or he'll be getting a kick up the arse. But he's currently finished his studies. But just quickly, I don't know if you're watching the stream as well, Charge, but I'm just trying to see what our top 10 are doing. Tyrion and Dahlgren were having a right little battle, but they both seem to have a gap now. However, Flack and Audi. We talked about this earlier on in the stream, ladies and gents, that Flack and Audi were fighting, and they are still at it. These two haven't stopped racing each other all race so far, so we'll just stay on board with these guys, as Audi seems to be trying to get on the inside of Flack before the S's, and we'll just go back to the helicam because one of them's going to have to bail out, and who's it going to be? Flack bailed out. Audi was absolutely determined to get that position off Flack.
He had his elbows out there. He wasn't giving anything, was he?
He certainly did. Now, is that Radek Schuller behind Flack now? I'm not too sure, but if that is Radek Schuller behind Flack, let's go back to helicam. Let's check out. Yes. Oh wow. Okay. So hi Drake. Welcome to the stream. This is crazy because Schuller was in first position. He must have pitted. He had to pit a second time. I don't know if he had a penalty or anything. It certainly didn't mark anything up. But now he's got Flack and Audi fighting for position. Obviously 18th and 19th. Well, 18th and 20th now. And Schuller's in between them both. So, and let's be honest, Charger, Drake, you both know this. Audi isn't easy to overtake. So
no, he's not.
So, I mean, is Audi going to see it Schuller and just go, do you know what? He's a second, 2 seconds quicker than me, or is he going to fight him? We can only find out by watching this next set of events. But Drake, how you doing, mate? Are you all rested and good?
Absolutely not. I worked today for 9 hours, like worked for my boss. Then after that, I had a school project that needs to be done.
Oh.
But I said to my group, okay guys, I finished what I could finish today, and then bye.
Nice.
Time for a weekend.
Literally,
oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. This is interesting, especially, I mean, I said at the beginning of the stream, this corner, the Melbourne hairpin, it's one of those corners that you're either going to send it on the inside or you're not going to send it on the inside. We've seen some people try and send it on the outside and fail, but Schuller has gotten the job done with Audi. I don't even think Audi's going to fight it back or attempt to fight it back, because Schuller's just so much quicker. You know, those guys were lapping 138s. Schuller's in the 136s. So I'm wondering if whatever happened to Schuller, he pitted, came out, realised the car wasn't reacting, and thought, I'm going to have to pit for repairs. In the meantime, the guy fighting Damien Wilk, I'm always terrible at his name, but Partes, he's got a drive-through penalty. So, again, I mentioned this at the start of the stream, ladies and gents. The S's, there are certain points of this track, you're going to get some warnings. He's gotten one. He's in 13th at the moment, with Wilk behind him in 14th. However, with that drive-through penalty, it's going to hurt him. It's really going to hurt him to a point where he probably lose a couple of places for that. And Wilk will resume in 13th, which he'll be happy about. But Drake, you've been watching from your study desk. How have you been finding the race so far?
Interesting. Last week we obviously had Schuller winning the race and absolutely dominating, and right now he's in 17th.
Yes.
Still,
yeah.
he's very good, but right now we have Plate dominating.
Yep.
Or at least in the front, so it's mixed up again.
Yeah, I haven't seen Plate Pit yet as well. So, because there was talk. I mean, obviously, so Charge has said to us, it's not going to happen. The race without fuel. But I'm just wondering. If these guys are quick enough to run a low fuel. Oh no, sorry, there is no engine maps for GT4s, is there?
No,
So
that's actually Plate into the pits.
yeah, that's Plate into the pits. I was going to say, is he messing about with engine mapping and lifting coasting, as these guys are fast enough to do it? But obviously not. Plate's in the pits. Banksy will stay out because obviously this is the opportunity for Banksy to get some laps led, which is always good. It's always a bonus. And let's be honest, Banksy can talk to us about it after the race. And Phil Varley. Now, the interesting thing is, it's great to see Varley racing and in the position he's in. He's challenging Banksy, who is now in P1. So Varley in second and Banksy in P1. Yeah, these two have been at it all evening. To be fair, ever since the race started, they've been challenging each other and racing for position. So yeah, it's definitely one to watch for them. Charger, I won't do your profile that you wrote tonight for me because I guess we can talk about it instead if you want.
Yeah, I did want to mention actually, the current situation here, like with Emo's just pitted there, and we've got Banksy in first. You do realise there's a possibility if Emo beats Banksy tonight that he might topple him off the rankings, and therefore we have it written down. There's 100 quid. You know where I'm going with that, don't you? Yeah. We'll skip over that. Yeah, if you want to talk about the profile.
I mean, Monopoly money, 100 quid Monopoly money. That's always a good one. I just wanted to highlight before we go through profile. Mo Plate is in 10th position now after that pit. Schuller's in 16th. So obviously, look, I mean, Varley and Banks right now. I don't know whether Banksy's panicking a little bit. We know, Varley's gone in for the inside. He's gone into the inside of turn 1. And Banksy just had that better drive because he was in the right place for it. But we'll stay on board with these guys while we talk. But Banks doesn't seem very happy with these tyre models, does he? I don't know. He's obviously spoken to you, Charger, and we speak to him quite a lot after races. But combinations of some pit stop errors and some obviously the new 1.8 release. Would you say he's struggled a bit with the tyre changes and keeping them at a decent level?
I think everyone struggled a bit with the change since 1.8, but I think it's how you deal with it. Those that are more vocal about it, maybe are struggling with it a bit more. I personally think it's better, but then again, I'm at a pace where a change like that probably wouldn't affect me too much. I know it's affected the faster guys, but then again, I think it's also condensed the lap times. They're not that far apart now. In other words, you can't push the car out of its natural limits now. So you can find by real world physics, if you like, a little bit more. That's the way I look at it, which is good for the mid to slow pack people,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How about you, Drake? Have you obviously you've done a lot of end race interviews with Panda, and most of sometimes, well, I say most of the time. I don't want to polish this knob too much, but a lot of the time, Banksy is obviously in those interviews. Does he talk to you a lot about tyre degrading and how he struggles sometimes with certain things? As we see him go on to the brown and green stuff there, which he didn't want to do because it's put Varley again straight behind him and ready for a challenge. We know these two are hot on each other's heels in previous championships and seasons, and we know Varley's a damn good driver, and we know Banksy's a damn good driver. So it's all to play for. But yeah, going back to the question, Drake, has Banksy ever highlighted that to you in interviews or?
Not specifically in the interviews. We always talk after the race, and at least a lot. He has said something about it, but not too much. I think everyone is kind of getting used to the new tire rating and still trying to get used to it. Personally, I drive a little bit and I don't even notice it because I'm that bad. But yeah, no, not specifically in interviews. He's always been positive about getting used to the cars and having a great race. So maybe that's a question for a post-race interview.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking this absolutely, because unless these two, God forbid, take each other out, which can happen. We've got 48 minutes to go, so anything can happen. And you know, I wonder if Varley's just waiting for that little mistake, that little mistake that we saw Banksy do in the last lap, that odd thing. But who knows? Who knows? Just to point out as well, while we're keen to watch these two race, is we've got a drive-through penalty which has been given to Jack Alexander, and we just go on to him now, and unfortunately it looks like he's had a bit of an off there too. So Jack Alexander currently in 12th position. We got to remember he was running in third in that lovely looking BMW with the X on the front of it. I do like that skin. It does look cool. But that's gonna hinder him a lot, and I think Mr. Wilk will love that, because that puts Damien Wilk into 12th position, and Partes, after Damien Wilk's battle, he's down into 17th. Meanwhile, behind Wilk is Radek Schuller in 14th position. So Schuller's going up the order, but already plates in 8th position. So Schuller's going up the order. I think he's not long past Xavier there, which is right behind him in 15th. And Mad Owl is wow, what's going on here? Mad Owl's got a train of cars behind him. I don't know whether that's for position or not. But he certainly seems to have a big group or a couple of cars behind him battling. Let's just see if that is. Yep, that is Door behind Mad Owl, and he's got Partes, who had the penalty, and Audi as well, I think, behind him. No, that's not Audi by the looks of it. Oh, it could be. So I don't like this broadcaster option, but he's basically got a train of cars behind him, and we'll stay on board with these at the moment. But
yeah,
46 minutes to go. Oh, sorry,
last thing Banksy wants is Phil passing him, because that will definitely affect his ranking, because Phil's one lower than Banksy.
Wow.
So I think Phil probably knows that, and he's going for it. So
yeah,
so you might see an upset in the rank tables after this one.
Just having a look there. That is Door. He's going for the position on Mad Owl. He went on the inside, so it gave him the inside line there. But now Mad Owl's got the inside line into that corner. There's going to be some rubbing here, because Mad's not giving in, and they just get through. They absolutely must have either had a bit of a squeaky moment there or touched very, very slightly, because that was phenomenal to keep that as well as it was. Fantastic racing by Door and Mad Owl. Obviously quite important for Door, because he was up there in third position earlier on, but he had a really, really rocky start. So you know, he's essentially quicker than these guys anyway. But you know, great racing between those two. We know Mad Owl. Mad Owl's he's a long time member, and you know, long term racer. So he's always wanted to keep it clean and fun and fair. So I think
he'll still stick it in when it's not wanted, though. I'm telling you.
Yeah, too right. He did. He basically poked Door on the rear and said, "Oi, I'm here." So Audi, we were talking about that blue car that was behind Partes and Mad Owl. It is a back marker by the looks of things, but Audi he's still got Flack behind him. And we were talking earlier on, Charger, because Flack's obviously got a new bit of hardware now, hasn't he, to mount his steering wheel onto. So
yeah,
that
makes Next Level.
Yeah.
One of our sponsors. Yeah, bought Next Level stand So,
That's right, and that makes a world of a difference, doesn't it? Like actually having
it
your
does.
wheel.
It does with having the pedals bolted to it and the wheel connected. Yeah, because everything's in sync.
Yeah, definitely. So that is Audi and Flack still racing. We said earlier on that we'll keep an eye on these two because it looks like they're in for the long haul tonight, and they certainly are. Hey, Phil Varley is in P1 at the moment, everyone. So my I'm starting to get worried because Banksy's in 13th position. So Varley obviously
Yeah,
hasn't
he's pitted.
pitted yet. Yeah. Banksy's pitted. Varley hasn't. Interestingly, Banksy is now behind Schuller and Martin Schaefer and Jack Alexander. So that dominating lead from Banksy after Plate pitted could have really hurt him. Actually, it's all about that game of clean air, isn't it, guys? Once you've pitted, the last thing you want is a pack of cars in front of you, and if Banksy's been pushed by Phil Varley over the last 5 or 10 laps, that might be bad for his tyres. His core temperatures might have heated up. He might have struggled a little bit, and now he's behind the guys who I think he was ahead of at the start of the race. So we'll see what happens. There's a couple that haven't pitted around him as well. Damien Wilkes currently running in 9th, so he's in for the long run, which surprises me because Wilk last week he was in the long run again, and it really hindered him at the end. He lost about 8-9 places to it. So that'll be an interesting one. That will be an interesting one. So when we were talking, Charger was talking a minute about the rankings. He doesn't mean that Phil Varley will be in P1 for the Clash of the Warriors Championship. He means that Varley will be in, will move up the rankings in the RWB International website's driver list. So again, if any of you are interested and you're not RWB members or race with RWB, check it out. RWB International. Search for it on Google. Have a look. You sign up through Steam, and that gives you your own driver profile. Really cool. Some really nice little tools on there as well, and has all of the events that RWB International have throughout the week. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Friday. There's an event every day, isn't there?
Yeah, there is now. Yeah. Well, there was a day to fill, so we filled it.
Yeah, too right. And we didn't fill it with wrecking for each other.
Wreckfest, Wreckfest window. If you've never played Wreckfest, and it's cheap at the minute, I think it's about a tenner. Get it. It's so much fun. We have an absolute blast.
We do indeed.
Full room, 24 people wrecking each other.
Soon we will also have the Sunday. No, that's the Saturday. I'm blind. We will have a long Saturday, I think, the 19th of February.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
course of Spa.
That's
I have
crazy.
already talked to Rob.
There's
and I
89.
89? Oh, it says 82 for me.
82 plus 7 reserve teams.
Ah.
On one server. On one race, yeah. That's like nearly 300 drivers.
That's
253. That's crazy.
interesting.
Just to point out, guys, Mo Plate is currently challenging Yusma Karolia, and I don't know if he's gotten the move done. He hasn't gotten the move done. This could be significant here because Karolia is not a slow driver, and he knew what Plate was doing then. Plate trying to go on the inside. It's going to be the champions of a late braking here, unless Karolia can do a switch around, which he's going to try and do. It is absolutely fantastic. This is key because this is for 3rd position, and I think Mo Plate has gotten the job done. He's managed to get past Karolia, but it's a bit like a Fernando Alonso moment. Karolia did not make that easy. He did not want Plate to go past, and that Melbourne hairpin was key for Plate because he got in the position he wanted to. Karolia tried to move over to the right to defend, but by the time he started, Plate was already there. He was there and coming alongside him. So great driving by Plate. That's experience. That's practice, and that's key to this race as well. As we still have Schuller in 9th position, so Schuller is still being. He's got Wilk close to him. Wilk, Wilk, which is he's got Martin Schaefer and Jack Alexander behind him for fun as well. So this is someone who hasn't pitted yet, but he's had the likes of Schuller, Wood, Barnett all challenging him. Oh,
Got away with that.
Yeah, I don't know if we can. Let's instant replay. So it just, I mean, that was Alexander. Was that Alexander looking for a gap that I just wasn't really there?
That was similar to what happened with me, but the car just rotated. So yeah,
Right.
so he got away, really got away well with that.
Yeah.
Awesome save. A lot of people would have spun there.
Someone who's not good at those saves is Magnus Dahlgren. I'm just saying, Magnus, if you watch this, I'm sorry, mate, but you know you got to work on those saves. Yeah, so Wilk is he'll be pretty chuffed with 10th, and I think Damien Wilk is one of those drivers. Again, you two know him. You've commentated on him, Drake Charger. He does the CC Championships for us on a Monday and Tuesday and fun races. Currently with Alexander taking a peek on the right hand side, it's all about that Melbourne hairpin again. Look, we're going free. We're going free now. Schaefer is trying to take advantage of this as well. I saw we also had a car go off somewhere.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure who that was.
Damien Wilk has just lost 3 positions. Oh, Damien, keep it nice. Yes, well done. But I say well done, but Damien's just lost 3 positions in the space of 1 corner. So that was funny enough. That was Kai Banks, Martin Schaefer, and Jack Alexander all overtaking Damien Wilk. So you can kind of understand why they did what they did. But wow. That was close then. That was 3 guys who should be in the top 5, obviously showing their frustration a bit and getting past Damien as quick as they could. But yeah, sorry, we were talking about Damien and we were saying he's improved massively over the last month or 2, I think. Just consistency wise,
he was around my pace, I would say, 3-4 months ago. But he's definitely. I mean, another person. I don't know if you've noticed, Kevin Shepherd's up there in 5th.
Yeah,
they were joking.
Yep.
Yeah, they were joking about that on the grid. You know, like, yo, is your nose bleeding up there because he was in 8th position. But he's not. You know, I've battled with Kevin in the past, and he's definitely. I don't know what he's done tonight, but he's definitely pulled something out of his arse.
Yeah. I mean, also it's Donington. You know, we don't race Donington that much, do we?
No, we don't.
But some people. I mean, it's like, mate. It's like you and me with Alton Park. You know, it just seems to be this. I mean, I've still got it somewhere. The race between you, me, and Evil at Donington, at Alton Park, and we were P1, 2, and 3. It's just something special about certain tracks that just people click with. And we're just watching Kai Banks now. Obviously, they've just gone past the back marker. And I've just the reason I'm just staying with these guys for a second is because I think this freeway battle currently for 10th, that's quite key. And what it's starting to worry me a bit here, because I think, guys, Varley's going for the full hog. We're 35 minutes left, and Binnisley as well. But this is let's just quickly Binnisley. Which we were commenting earlier, that he's not in pink for once. He's
it's a shade of pink.
Yeah, it's lipstick. It's lipstick dick pink.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh shit. But yeah, no. Binnisley's in 2nd as well. So let's just see where he is. He's just going past the first corner. MO plate is now coming down the main Wheatcroft straight as well to Redgate. So he's not too far behind Binnisley, but if these two sneaky little buggers, Varley and Binnisley, do pull something special off, another one as well, because Carolia and Shepherd, as Charger said, Carolia's in 4th place, he hasn't pitted yet, and Shepherd's in 5th place behind Carolia. And
he hasn't pitted, has he?
No, exactly, he hasn't pitted either. So, and then you've got Daniel Barnett in 6th place. You got Tyrion behind him in 7th place, and not too far behind him. and then Nigel Wood just coming around that corner to come after Tyrion as well. And then the problem here is Schuller is now in 9th, but Schuller's
He's ahead of
potentially
Banksy. Yeah, he's jumped him, hasn't he, on the pit stop?
yeah. So, but the interesting thing as well is Plate's going to stay position here, and Schuller's. I mean, Christ, Schuller had a massive gap and a massive lead, and it's just whatever happened, I need to find out. I want to know what happened to Schuller, because whatever did happen, it just totally. I'm guessing it must have been a pit stop error or something.
I think he might have changed tyres by mistake.
Right. That's 30 seconds, isn't it?
30 seconds plus. Well, yeah, 30 seconds. If he's put fuel in, yeah, it'd be 30 seconds. But he seemed to be in longer than that, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Just go over a few retirements for the night. We got obviously Matt Shablom, retired, 33rd. Well, I say
sorry,
33rd.
Matt.
Yeah, Mr. Charger. Unfortunately, you will finish a race in this Clash of the Warriors, mate.
Do you know, it's my favourite. The first one was Silverstone, this Donington. My two favourite tracks, and I just can't fucking finish them.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate it when it's your favourite as well. So yeah, Charger obviously one of the retirements as well, alongside Matt Shablom and Miko Sky as well. Josh Butler, is Josh is a newcomer, isn't he? I think.
Yes, he is.
Rivas, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Joe Butler,
Okay.
yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm right there, because I said that earlier on. I don't want him to go. I've been here for ages. So Josh is currently.
He's been here a while, but he's quite active. He's a good chat. He does some setup stuff as well.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why you know him, Charger.
Yeah.
He does your setups, right?
Yeah. Oh, sack him. Yeah, so he's currently in 30th. I'm just seeing Victor. Oh, who was that? Was that Harry? No, God.
Was that Florentine?
I wonder if it was Flack, because
Flack, yeah.
Yeah, Flack had. We were talking about his gunmetal grey or matte grey rear end of his Beamer earlier on, and that's why. Yeah, that was Flack, and that took him down to 21st position, giving Magnus Dahlgren a little bit of a looking at Audi now, which isn't too far up the lead. Meanwhile, Varley's still in first, Binnersley's still in second, and Plate is now in 3rd place, chasing them down. But it's sorry, I'm skipping a few around the drivers just because there's so much going on at the moment. Drake, feel free, by the way, to point out any gaps or drivers that you seem to see racing as well. I appreciate it.
Varley's gonna win this race. That's the verdict.
Is it? I mean, there's 31 minutes to go. Anything can happen.
I have seen him race in balance of power in that bloody McLaren.
Yeah.
Well, no way he's gonna lose this race.
Yeah, don't forget though, Plate is quick. He's doing 1:35s in his laps.
Varley is 2 seconds slower than him.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
1.7 seconds actually. But
the thing that worries you is, I'm not saying he's a bad driver, a dirty driver, but as we just see, Varga got a little bit of a back end happy moment there. Let's just see if we can see that as he comes around. I've always said, you get that slightly wrong, yeah, you get a little bit of a squirrel, a little bit of an arse twitch, and his arse definitely twitched there, probably in game and out of game while he's driving. But that is a continuous battle with Mad Al for P17 at the moment.
Might I say, I have seen some awesome saves lately. That's
Varley pitted. He's just pitted.
Interesting.
So Varley, I just noticed while we were looking at that, and Rick Binnersley's now in P1. Sorry, he's 5th. He's 5th. I tell you what, if that was just a quick squirt of fuel, he's still 6 places ahead of Banksy. So
Banks really has some dirty air, I think, or something. Of course,
yeah, let's
Plate had an awesome kind of undercut on them.
say that again. Sorry.
Plate had an undercut on both Banks and
Yes.
Varley. Yeah, of course, Varley didn't pit straight away, but he still has the undercut. Because I've been watching their gaps, as I'm the statistics guy, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, Banks was not getting away from Plate after Plate pitted. Plate
Right.
kept keeping the gap closer, so that's still gonna be interesting.
Yeah. I just want to see where Plate is now to where Binnesley is. So, Binnesley can't do the entire race without pitting. It's not possible, is it? I don't know.
Don't know. So that's Binnelly, I think, to turn 5, and Plate is
He's
to. Let's see. Plate is orange on my map.
yeah. He's so
Not
where
too far away.
yeah. He's not a million miles away. So I think yeah. I think the whole prediction of Varley winning. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? This is where it can change so quickly. We don't know what the guys are doing. We don't know what their setups are like. We can only predict and kind of make an estimate here. But whatever's happened, Plate's now in second, Binnesley's in first, Caroli is third, Kevin Shepherd. He's in an interesting little gap here. He's got Caroli in front of him and Varley behind him. So Kevin Shepherd, currently the RWB Shepherd, the one who they laughed at the start of a race, we might not be laughing if he picks up a result like this tonight, especially
Has
me.
he pitted?
He hasn't pitted. No.
Wow.
So he's either done some absolute wizardry, as we see Varley trying to do the outside move on him on the Melbourne hairpin, but not making it. It's just raced. We were saying this earlier on, weren't we, with like me in Alton Park, and certain tracks you're just bloody quick at, aren't you? Like,
Yeah, there's some tracks are made for you, some tracks aren't made for you. Of course, driving style plays a big part in it. If you drive really aggressive into the corners, every track is different. So it's really interesting to see, but also really cool to see one of the guys that we're used to see kind of further down a bit, seeing him at the front in the top 4. That's awesome.
I also think it's down to the GT4s. Some people prefer them. They can drive them a lot better than the GT3s because they're more of a driver's car, aren't they? Rather than relying on aero and downforce and stuff like that.
yeah,
You can monster curbs and you can be a lot more loose with them, and throw them around. So he might just suit people's driving styles, I think.
Yeah, we just saw at that point as well. Varley just made a statement, a hell of a statement on the McLean's turn 7. He went round on the outside of Kevin Shepherd, almost just to say, "Get out, just get out of my way. I'm coming through." And Shepherd, actually, you saw his car go a bit skew-whiff, because I probably don't think he even thought he was going to make that move, but he did. So that's Shepherd into 5th place, down into 5th place. Varley up to 4th, and it will be interesting to see what this young man Caroli does to keep Varley back as well. Our resident statistician Drake, are we missing anything on track that might be a bit cheeky? We're just back onto Maddow in 16th with Peter Varga. These two are side by side, or almost side by side at the moment, coming through the S's. And actually, we see a little bit of a tap from Mad there. Whether that was frustration or whether that was not expecting Varga to put his nose up on the inside, but also is that we've also got is that Audi's? That's Audi and Magnus Dahlgren as well in 18th and 19th. Hold on a second, people. We've got a 4-way fight here. we've got a fight for 15th position now, I think, or 16th position, between Varga, Audi, Dahlgren, and Mad Owl. And I think Mad Owl's managed to get in front again with Peter Varga on the inside of turn 1, and even Audi trying to get on the outside. And I tell you what, this is going to be interesting coming down this next straight, coming down this next right-hander. Because if one of these guys get it wrong, it could be devastating. Oh, yeah. Deary me.
DB, are you all right?
I saw Dahlgren going for that move then, and I was like, I just think it gives it testament to these guys, because this is the kind of positions they always race in, and it is true what they say, Charge. You start learning when you race with someone in a club, and this is the great thing about club racing. When you race with people in a club weekly, you learn what they're like, and that's where you start getting the utmost respect for each other and knowing what each other does on a week-to-week basis. It's pretty spawn, isn't it, Bill? Like, it's...
Yeah, I mean, I would say 85-90% of the people that race week in, week out in the leagues are regulars.
Yeah.
We get a few filter in maybe from the CC or the Monday races, the fun races.
Yeah.
But yeah, the leagues are, because we only run a single tier, we could run more tiers because there's obviously more interest, but I think it dilutes it a bit. So we try and keep the quality racing and the guys. And as you say, you're spot on. The more you race with people, the more you know their strengths and weaknesses, their driving styles. And it makes a big difference than just turning up to a race where you're racing, 40 odd other people.
Yeah.
It can be a shit show, but yeah, the leagues are usually pretty good.
Or Bassau going on the green stuff, and that's giving Varga the perfect opportunity, and also giving Audi the speed to come up on the inside. And is he going to stick it on the inside? These two are going to race fair, and they're going to be respectful. Audi just hit the curb slightly. Don't go 3 wide, guys. Don't do it.
Oh, wow.
It's just absolutely incredible. Audi has pulled that off, and we saw Magnus Dahlgren as well trying to get through to Mad Owl, and again they're going through to the S's now. I even think we've got Flack behind them potentially. Is Flack behind him? No, he's not. Let's go back to Dahlgren. It's obviously a back marker or someone in front, but these 4 are racing so hard for position, and it's great to see because it's hard and it's fair as well. Drake,
yeah,
what
there's
do
a
you
lot
think
of respect there, isn't there?
Yeah,
It's interesting, and of course Mad Owl is Mad Owl, and he will stick it where he wants to stick it. That's I think what Mad Owl is known for. We saw that with Audi just then. Mad Owl stays on the outside and will stay on the outside with his car, and he doesn't care if your car is on the inside.
yeah. I mean,
it's his corner.
do you know what? As we look on, while we look on to Binnesley here, still in P1 and still not pitting. Plate is now literally 2 seconds, 2 seconds behind him, 1.7 seconds behind him, and Plate's gaining a second a lap on Binnesley. So it'll be interesting to see how these two come to heads in a minute, because Binnesley there's 20 minutes to go, or roughly 20 minutes to go. Binnesley's in for the long run. He's clearly not pitting. It'll be interesting to see whether he submits P1 and goes, you know what, you're quicker. I don't want to lose it. But while we're watching these guys, I take on board what you're saying about Mad Aldrake. But I spoke to, I think I've even spoken to Charger about it, because coming back to RWB 2 years ago, and coming back to sim racing, I was noticing that I was being overly cautious on certain things, and I think as long as you stick it in a certain point and you do it without making a detrimental effect to anyone's race, I think it's getting the confidence to do that. And again, I suppose it's respect to the other drivers, but I think that's fair charge. I think you can stick it in a certain, you can commit to a certain position, and it might be a bit dodgy, but you've got to do it, haven't you? When you're racing, you can't just be cautious all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the person you're racing. Some people will cut you off, and you probably know that. But some people will give you space, and I know the people I'm racing against, and I know the ones I could stick it up the inside and try and force a mistake. But I'm not
Yeah.
dive bombing them, But I know they'll react one way or another. They won't just cut me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all down to familiarity.
Yep.
Which also breeds contempt as well, because there are a few discussions, heated debates. Yeah, but I love it. I just wish I could be in it sometimes and not have issues.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's one of
I love
those.
to watch it.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch. I always watch it the day after on the TV in the lounge. It's just, I never forget watching these races once with the commentary and the setup and all that stuff. And my old man came in and was like, "Where's that then?" And I was like, "It's a game, Dad." He was like, "What?" Just because it just looks so cool, doesn't it? Like, oh, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I put one on for the missus and the daughter and her boyfriend, and they were watching it. It was like, that's really cool, because I think it was the 9 hours of Kyalami we did with the commentary and that was on there. And they were like, that's just epic,
It's
It
wicked,
looks,
isn't it?
yeah, it looks brilliant. 4K, it just looks real.
Especially straight away with the 9 hours. That's most craziest race, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So look, we're lap 54. We've got, how long have we got left? We got 17
I don't
minutes.
think Rick can go the full race. I don't think he can.
Yeah, it's. You'd like to think, yeah, if he's going to do it, he's going to do it in the next couple of laps, because that man, which we're looking at on Rick's rear wing here, he's not going to stay there on Rick's rear wing. He's going to make a move at some point. So, if you were Rick, you've had clean air for the last, I don't know how many laps, but you've had clean air. You might as well just pit. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it now, aren't you?
It might already be a bit late.
Well, and this is the thing, it's.
I think what Banks and Schuler did was smart. They pitted in time to still be able to fight back for their places. If Binnesley pits now, he doesn't have that much time to fight back for his places.
Well, don't forget, my commentary friend, those guys who potentially pitted earlier might have had more traffic in front of them, so they don't have as much clean air. Where if Binnesley pits now, he's going to be quite far up the field and potentially have some gaps. So, the reason, I want to just watch this next lap with these two, because this is it. This is where Plate's going to take Binnesley. It's going to end. It's going to end. Like, one of them's going to end smiling and one of them's going to end crying. I don't mean to do a commentator's curse here, boys, but
we know we have a curse, because I just said Fargo was gonna win this race and then he pitted. So
yeah.
I won't say anything about it, because I will curse anyone.
What do you reckon, Charge? Is it this lap he's going to have him?
It certainly looks like it, doesn't it?
I've been in a race with Binnesley, and I've had Binnesley behind me, and I know what Binnesley's like. He's not. I'd be surprised if he lets Plate past him.
I think Plate will go for it in the hairpin.
Yeah, it's all about that turn 11, ladies and gents. Exactly what we were saying at the start of this race on points to look at. This is it. Is Binnesley gonna? Yeah, look, he's slightly drifting to the right. Then Plate's looking for it. He slightly opens up, gets a little bit late on the brakes. That's exactly what Binnesley wanted. he lives to tell the tale of the Melbourne hairpin. Again, this blind left-hand corner, they're both on it. It's interesting because I know we shouldn't be just focusing on these two, but the interesting thing about this is if Plate makes a mistake trying to overtake Binnesley, then Plate loses to Varley or Schuller. And that's the key thing, isn't it? It's that risk versus reward, you know?
I'm actually tempted to fire the game back up and look at what the litres per lap usage was on mine.
Yeah. Someone said in Discord the other day, you can go the entire race if you're sensible. And
I've heard a lot of guys say it, but I still don't believe it.
It's going to be the biggest downfall ever. I know we've got loads of battles going on. I know we've got loads of things happening behind us, but it's just, you know, I thought we were going to see an overtake last lap, and we haven't. Let's just see where Varley is in relation to these two. These two are on the S's. Varley is just coming. He's 2 corners behind him. He's not going to get it done again, you know. He's not. Unless he does for some miraculous dive on the inside, he's just not going to do it. So we look at Binnesley and MO Plate. We'll watch him round the last corner. We've seen that Varley's a couple of corners behind him. We'll see where Radek Schuller is in relation to Varley as well, because Schuller was the star of the match. He is just at the S's, where Varley has gone past the S's and is coming back up to the Melbourne hairpin. So he's not too far off him. I don't know if you two agree with me or not. Carolia has not gone past Shepherd yet, or is now behind Shepherd, and Shepherd has this. Shepherd has this train of 4 cars behind him. He's got Carolia behind him, Alexander behind him. He's got Barnett behind him, and behind Barnett, he's got Banksy behind him. I don't know about you two, but I want this guy in commentary as a man of a match, you know, because, you know, we've talked about it from his qualifying pace in 10th. He hasn't pitted yet as well, so he's going to pull off something spectacular. I'm just watching. I'm mindful of the timings in front of us as well, but again, I think because these 4 are now battling it out, you've got Banksy behind him as well, and Banksy will be fuming. Speaking of fuming and Banksy, he's just taken Dan Barnett and gotten himself up into 8th position. Not sure if Dan Barnett's going to challenge back or not, but it's all. This is amazing. This is some bloody brilliant racing between this lot. We got Jack Alexander and Carolia. Alexander just gets past Carolia to now take it into 6th place, but Carolia comes back on him and takes the position again. They do a switch around as they're coming up to the S's here. Crucial, absolutely crucial that they respect each other here. Don't go to any cut as well. Some of them could have 2 cut warnings, 3 cut warnings, 1 cut warning. So they need to be careful here. Coming up to turn 11, it doesn't look like anyone's going to gain or do anything. All the time, these guys are fighting for position hard and fast. Guess what? The star of the match, Kevin Shepherd, is starting to get a 1.8, 2-second gap. 2.5 second gap now from these guys, all fighting for position and fighting to get as many points as they can for the championship. Wow, amazing. That's brilliant. I don't know if we can do a replay for these two and it'll work, can we? Or
it depends how far back you go. If you get 60 seconds, you might be able to.
Yeah, we won't risk it. We won't risk it. But yeah, that's so that is Plate for P1. That's pretty much him in the bag now. I don't think Binnesley. If Binnesley's playing the long game, he's got a lift, hasn't he? He's got a lift and coast on some corners. It's just, yeah, it'd be phenomenal. So that's MO Plate. That's Rick Binnesley in 2nd. Varley's still a way off from those two, so looks like he's gonna get 3rd. Schuller is in 4th position, trying to track Varley down. Kevin Shepherd, he's gotten ahead of this pack in 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. We've still got. Carolia is now in 8th position. Apologies, that's obviously changed around again. So we got Alexander in 6th, Banks in 7th, Carolia in 8th, and Barnett in 9th. So these guys are fighting hard for it. We've got Martin Schaefer having a race on his own right now. 9 minutes to go. He seems to be sat there happily in 10th position. Tyrion, this is a guy worth noting. He started down the pack a bit, I believe, or did he? I can't remember now. But 11th position is quite a good place for him. Dor will be absolutely beating himself up. He started the race in 4th or 5th, and we were on board with him when there was a whole load of shuffling about with Carolia and Dor and Schuller. He's now in 12th position. This is a fantastic one for Damien, 13th position. He'll be happy. Partes, who was challenging Wilk and had him at one stage, he's 14th at the moment. Xavier Eugeni, he's behind these two battling in 15th. Peter Varga, not too far behind Xavier as well, a second and a half. Magnus Dahlgren just coming around the last corner in 17th. With Audi and Mad Al. We know that that's Mad Al because of a colour scheme behind Audi. Currently 18th and 19th, those two are in. And Flack fighting. Is that Hodgson? Oh no, that's not Hodgson. It's obviously some people. Oh, Flack has currently got Schuller and Binnisley separating him. So Flack's in 20th, and that's Binnisley. You can see behind him right now. It looks like Binnisley's binned off the fight for first position there, and he's just bringing the car home. Matt Hodgson, he'll be happy about when he charged 21st.
It's a good result, yeah.
It is a good result, and whatever happened, something happened to him at the start of the race because he was last. I don't know whether he didn't qualify or something, but he's currently in 21st. We've got Gretschel and Nigel Wood. Oh no, that's just Gretschel. I don't know who Gretschel's fighting, but it's not for position. That could actually be Schuller there, but he's letting by. Nigel Wood is currently in 23rd position. Richard Jones in 24th. Lee Duckworth in 25th, and he was having a fight with Florentin at the time, but Florentin's also on his own. He's got Cecilio behind him. So these two are just having a cheeky little fight, which is interesting. I know earlier on Cecilio and Duckworth were fighting for positions at the back, but now it's Cecilio and Florentin. I'm guessing Rigel has pitted, and it looks like he's out of the race.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah.
FX is in 28th position. Do we know what's happened with Rigel?
We don't.
Okay.
No
okay.
idea.
I know. I saw that there must have been contact at the start because Rige had gone down into almost last, and he had damage as well. FX, I believe FX has been nurturing that car the entire race, which is amazing. Well, it's obviously not amazing for FX, but he was definitely off a pace earlier on. Harry Hottie is in 29th position, let some cars past, and Josh Butler still in it in 30th position as well. So just looking up into Binnisley's just pitted.
Yeah.
There we go. Binnisley's pitted, and
Kevin Shepherd's pitted. Yeah,
he's pitted as well. They must have been squeaking.
They were trying it on, weren't they? Definitely trying it. Yeah, 5 minutes. Swear.
Massively trying. So that puts Binnisley in 6th position, and now this is interesting. It puts Binnisley in 6th position, and it puts Binnisley in 6th position right behind Kai Banks and Jack Alexander. So it's you know what? It's one of those positions that I don't think Banks is having a very good race today. I think he'll be not very happy at the fact that he's obviously Jack's really fighting hard. They're lapping at the same pace, and now he's got this red machine of Bindesley behind him, and I don't think it matters whatever car Bindesley drives. He looks intimidating every single bloody race if he's behind someone. But yeah. So this is a fight we're currently looking at for fourth position between the three of these guys. Radek's kind of checked out in front, and that's Mr. Varley in front of Radek Schuller now. Varley would be very happy with second place, wouldn't he? He'd
he's had a bit of a sabbatical recently. He's come back strong, hasn't he? So it's good to see him back racing.
He was quick before, wasn't he? But yeah, it's nice to see him. Was he in the first race last week, Varley?
Not sure actually.
Sure.
Yeah, I've got the statistics here actually. I've got the. I should just stop being a lazy bugger and use that. So Varley wasn't racing last week. He was away, so they didn't have the wrath of Varley last week in qualifying. So
he was possibly blowing his horn.
Yeah.
He's in a. No. That's I'll put that into context.
I thought he's filthy.
No, he's in a an orchestra type thing. He plays brass.
I was like blowing his horn. Why would you say that on stream?
You see, you're just dirty minds. No, he's in the brass section of an orchestra.
It's because it's you. Oh dear, we'll have to focus. Mo Plate, we're currently seeing him. He's in P1. Varley, I suppose this is a race to comment and look on. With 2 minutes 40 seconds left to go. I'll just quickly we'll look at our champion Kevin Shepherd. He's chilling out in 12th now for the rest of the race. So it seems to me like the guys tried the one-stop strategy and it's kind of failed on them. Sorry, they tried the no-stop strategy and it didn't work out how they would have wanted it to.
I think they probably known they would have had to pit, but they've gone, I'll try. If I don't pit, I'm going to get clean air. I'll be at the front. It's a good strategy. Same as an early one. Yeah.
Dan Barnett's in the pit. So Dan Barnett's in the pit, which has released. That's moved the. That's
going to be splash and dash, I reckon.
Might I add, Schuller is catching Varley.
Yes.
Still quite rapidly, with about 4/10 a lap.
Yeah.
It was at least last lap. So
the thing is Varley doesn't have the pace that Plate and Schuller have had. Plate and Schuller have been on totally different, a totally different world all race, and I think it's worth noting that if Schuller hadn't have had whatever happened to him, he'd have been fighting Plate all race. Like it would have been a no-brainer, but. He's obviously had this. He's in this position now with Varley, but he doesn't particularly want to be in because and he's done well. He's done exceptionally well to claw back the places he has. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, Barnett's. Was it Barnett pitted? His
Yes.
pit stop was 15 seconds from his stop to his out, so that was a splash and dash.
Oh, yeah. That's.
No, that's when he stopped in his pit box to when he actually crossed the entrance. So that's probably a couple of seconds, 2 or 3 second pit stop.
Yeah, of course. It's worth noting while we get to 20 seconds to go. I was having a really interesting chat with Carolia at the start of or before the stream, and I think actually this is it. This is the last lap, isn't it? Race time is 4 seconds to go, 3 seconds to go. This is this is it. We're now watching. Mo Plate in P1. He led the race. He had the fastest lap. He's basically done exactly what he needed to do. Everything he needs to do today, he's done it. He'll be exceptionally happy.
See if Schuller's going to go for the last lap.
We will. So Varley has been taken. Schuller's got him. Schuller's got him already.
Shit.
Let's see if we can see what happened there. Oh, it was on the hairpin.
Ran
It
wide.
looks like Varley ran
Of course,
wide.
the hairpin.
Yeah,
Oh, he's going to be gutted on that last lap, isn't
He will be extremely gutted, and Schuller will be extremely happy. Phil Varley in third position. Jack Alexander just coming round the final corner with Kai Banks in fifth place behind him. That's a great win for it. It was great fourth for Jack. Great position for Banksy. Brilliant finish for Binnisley as well. Martin Schaefer in seventh position, just goes through the line. Corolla, he has got I think he's got Dora and Tyrion behind him as well for ninth position. Tyrion, Tyrion was a little bit behind. So Tyrion in 10th. Kevin Shepherd, man of the, we're saying the man of the race, and we're going to have a chat with him. He's in 11th place. He qualified 10th, and given the people he was racing today, that's absolutely phenomenal. Dave Barnett in P12. Peter Varga coming round that final corner to get the 13th position. Partez, he's one to watch, because if the thing hadn't have happened which happened to him with a drive-through, he'd have been really high up today. Dahlgren takes 15th. Jenny takes 16th. Damien Wilkes 17th. Audi is coming past the finish line to take 18th. Maddow in 19th. Great race between those guys today. Flack is coming round to the final hairpin to take 20th, or has he even? I think he might have already gone. So, yeah, that's our finishers. We'll let's get Mo Plate, Schuller and Varley down here, and Shepherd as well. I will see if I can drag those guys down. So we're getting Schuller in, we're getting Plate in. Who else have we got? We got Varley to come in as well. Where is Varley? I've lost him. Have we got Varley in?
Got him. Yep.
We got Varley, and let's get
Kevin.
Kevin, Mr. Shepherd, because yeah, here he is. Right, okay, right, ladies and gents, and lads who've just joined the commentators channel, we just wanted to quickly talk to obviously P1, 2 and 3. We also, Kevin Shepherd, we brought you in as well because me, Charger and Drake all said that you should be voted driver of the match today and driver of the race today. Kev, you qualified in 10th, you finished 11th, but you put on a hell of a show for us and a hell of a race for us. And Charger was saying that there was a little bit of funny jokes happening at the starting grid as well with nosebleeds. But Kev, how was that race? You must have loved it, mate. Donington must have been the track for you today. Oh, he's very quiet. He's probably running to get to Mike, but we can't hear you, Kev. But we'll move on to you afterwards if you are able to get your mic sorted. But so we'll talk to Varley and Schuller now. Varley finishing P3 and Schuller in P2. Varley, you had a very good race, young man. To the point where we were obviously watching at one stage, you and Kai Banks were racing really hard, but your pit strategy just seemed to be the one that worked for you this race. Talk to us about it. You're probably a little bit gutted, I can understand, but great race, mate. How was it for you today?
That was pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, how it went. Yeah, sort of went with a large fuel load, made sure that the tyres were pumped up because pressures go down pretty quickly in Donington. And then didn't change tyres, just took a bit of fuel, made sure I got track position. Because you know how hard it is to get in Donington. And yeah, Schuller got me on the marbles on the last hairpin, so so I just went too deep. So yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, we were trying to keep an eye on it and watching it as much as we could, and we looked back at a replay and saw you went wide, and I take it, yeah, something that must have happened. Just a quick one for our. Were you trying to go the entire race, or did you always know that you were going to have to pit in with 5-6 minutes to go?
You'd have to pit anyway for fuel. There's no way that you could really have decent race pace and last the entire hour and 3/4. So yeah, I went with 90 litres and then 40 odd.
Cool. Okay. Well done, P3. Obviously, your first race for Clash of the Warriors this season and for this year. So, great result there. And check the RWB website later. You never know where that'll put you potentially.
P11, wasn't it? Where did you start, Kevin?
I started in 9th, I think. 9th or 10th, one of the two. Either way, I'm over the freaking moon, mate.
I bet you are.
Join me at the
I know
start.
there was some comments on the start on the grid saying that you're getting a nosebleed up there as a result.
Honestly, I've never been so terrified in all my life.
You were shitting it, weren't you?
I was properly bricking it, mate. Well, I've done this before. I've sort of qualified, not this high, but higher. And the modus operandum is usually qualify a bit higher, lose it on the first lap, and then get from the back to where I started again. But yeah, it's incredible. And Corolla, I don't know how he did the whole thing on one fuel tank. I don't know how he did that.
He didn't.
You did it on one tank.
He must have done it on one tank because I was behind him and he finished the whole race on one tank.
Oh.
And Mad Al earlier in the week said he did 68 laps on one tank.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, but no way I could do that.
Brilliant.
I had to stop for 7 laps, 7 litres.
Just out of curiosity, it's fantastic. Honestly, Kev, brilliant. We were covering you a lot, and we really enjoyed it tonight. And it was well deserved, mate. Honestly, fantastic. Is Schuller in, or is he not? He's not able to.
I have got words from him. In his exact words, I have a cold, fever, and a headache from Friday, so he's already in bed
Wow.
now, and he feels dead. And I'm like, mate, nah, I don't believe him.
Well, look, we go to our race champion Mo Plate. Mo, you obviously qualified where you should have, and you did the job you needed to do. Again, I'd love to have spoken to Schuller because something happened to him. I don't know what happened to him, but it was pretty obvious from the pits that the race was yours. Talk us through it. Tell us your thoughts and your race, and well done, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It was a very hard race because it was a very long race, and well, the BMW isn't the easiest car to drive, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result. I'm not sure what happened to Shula because we were in a good fight, and suddenly I saw him off track in the grass, and I think he came in contact with a back marker probably, but I didn't see it. Didn't see it happen. And well, after that it was I didn't know if Binnesley and Farley were going without a pit stop because I wasn't sure if it was possible to do that. So I just went as fast as I could because you never know what is going to happen. But yeah, at the end they all had to go in for a I bet just a splash and dash. And then it was easy. I just finished the race.
I guess I was when I was commentating on it and watching you guys. Obviously, as you said, you had Varley and Binnesley at one stage in front of you. At the stage when, as a driver, do you have to change your mindset when you've only got 10 minutes to go, and obviously Binnesley's in P1 and you're right behind him? Do you have to change your way you drive because of risk? Risk versus reward.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's just 10 minutes left, and you have to push and hope you can make a clean pass or pressure him into a mistake or something. But yeah, I think he went a bit wide at the chicane. And that gave me a chance to pass him there. But otherwise, it's pretty difficult because it's not an easy track to overtake.
No, exactly. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I'll round it up again. Well done to our top three, Varley, Schuller, and Mo Plate. Well done to Shepherd as well for getting driver of the day. Well earned, especially given the circumstances. And yep, this is the so ending the stream for the second round of Clash of the Warriors at Donington Race Park. Again, for those of you who are new to the stream, check us out at RWB International. Check us out on Discord. Get involved, have a good chat, and we'll see you for next week's race next Saturday. Thank you very much, everyone.